Welcome to the official leadership podcast. This is Behind the Mask.
Hi, I'm Gracie.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Kai-Chen.
And I'm Samantha.
Today we'll be talking about how different industries promote different types of bodies.
The quote for today is, "Don't let your mind bully your body" by June's Tommaso Wood.
The subtopics we'll be covering within today's episode will be society, fashion, filming, and music.
And with that, we'd like to continue.
So first of all, we have the society. So over the years, society kind of came up with, in quotes, the perfect body. And of course, it changed like a lot throughout the years, like comparing from the 1940s to now is like a lot different. And well, this perfect body, like in quotes, it's like pretty dangerous because like it's a really small margin, and most people in the US are plus size, and there's also a lot of people that are on the skinnier side of the spectrum, which I don't think a lot of people thinks about. And plus there's like not everyone can have the perfect body, since there are many things that play into the role of whether you can lose weight or gain weight.
Yeah, I also agree with that. Like many people from their genetics have a faster metabolism than others.
Yeah. And there's also like diseases that can like make it harder to lose weight or gain weight.
Adding on to the first part, I think over the years, especially from like past like 10 years from all these different industries, the perfect body has become like more talked about and like more of like a small margin than it ever was before.
Mm-hmm. It also became, I guess you can say, more toxic.
And another thing that helped people have a better idea of what society wants the perfect body to be is social media, because a lot of people who get really big on social media tend to have bodies that are like, I guess, more agreeable for like people like more for, you know.
Yeah, the standard of the perfect body is really different from before.
It's also like different for like each gender, I guess, because like for women it's like you generally want to be on the skinny side and you don't want to be too tall. Well, for men it's like you want to be tall and like not too scrawny.
Yeah, and that's what the people have decided should be the perfect body over the years.
Now we have Melanie talking about the fashion industry.
So the fashion industry also promotes society's ideal body. Modeling industries, for one, only hire people that have bodies closer to the ideal body, and many stores have not been using models that are like not the ideal body. Um, One example of a store that has clothes and employees in general that are exactly the same type of body, which is very close to society's ideal body, is Brandy Melville. They have a policy of a one size fits all, but the size is extremely small and fits very few people. And the size is made for the ideal body. The other thing is the one size fits all policy is not a good one for any store because there is not one size that will fit everyone in the world. They did start adding website sizes on their website, but there was no plus sizes. The sizes only went smaller than the original size. The other thing people should need to consider is that the clothing is also too big on some people, because a lot of people think about clothes being too small or how no one can reach the perfect body because it's too small. But people need to consider that people who are smaller than the perfect body also can't get it, because for some people gaining weight is also an issue. Um, the other thing is stores are targeted closely at one gender, which is a girl, and girls tend to have a lot of like specific requirements for the perfect body, which is shouldn't be real. Um, and another thing is that people who don't fit into those clothes or aren't accepted into modeling companies feel bad about their bodies and start feeling like their body isn't good, which it definitely always is.
I feel I would agree that this is industry is like one of the biggest contributors to the body image and the ideal body because most stores that do this are very popular and like what most like very popular stores that a lot of people have. So I feel like when they promote one body, it really like is a big contributor to saying what the quote perfect body is.
Yeah, I agree. Like, because like the models that are modeling like these type of clothes, you see like what like they're like modeling, I guess you can say, because like what you see has like a really big impact on like what you think.
Yeah, and another thing I think is that the stores don't have the right to be promoting one body because body type varies on genetics. It's not necessarily something you can change easily. It either requires like a lot of targeted training to something some people can't accept, or you just can't change it, and then people start feeling bad about their bodies for a really long time.
Yeah, exactly. Like another thing is like one comment about like I guess your body type or like something like that is it's lasts like way longer than people think.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we have Kai Chen talking about the filming industry.
Okay, so I'm talking about the filming industry. Uh, for as long as humans have been making art, there have been depictions of the human form. So as soon as the first sculptors and painters start creating images of themselves and the people around them, they were saying, "This is what we look like." This causes a lot of self-examination. They probably didn't realize that this statement cut into two directions. On the one hand, this was a depiction of what they saw, but on the other hand, this was the statement to others about what they were or what they should be. So obviously, this plants seed of the body issues we all experience and grapple with today. When you see an image of someone you are told is the peak of physical attractiveness, this is a natural next step to look at yourself and say, do I meet this standard? Ultimately, the answer is no. So surprisingly, this can have a positive effect, inspiring people to take up fat burner exercise programs or improve their diets and overall health. Perhaps now where these complex relationships were more evident than in the film industry. Films are perhaps the most pervasive and commonplace form of visual art focusing on the human form. You may make a movie about what you see in the world, and then when people go to see that movie, they are affected by it and it changes how they are in the world. So that is what art is, and perhaps nowhere its power more evident than in the realm of fashion and body image.
So yeah, but like what you said, like with a positive effect, sometimes it has like a really negative effect because you really want to look like your idol or your favorite actor, and but those actors have like tons of money where they can like pay for a personal like fitness trainer or like a bunch of other stuff where you're like in like just not having that money and you're like pretty young, so like you might go with like other ways that are not so healthy, like that can really easily start up like eating disorders and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think
Yeah, I agree with Samantha. Like many actors are what people strive to be, but even actors have stories of like facing body image issues. So it's something that they all go through. And I feel like people also some associate like the perfect body with actors and because they're like the most famous people that they see.
yeah, the other thing is a lot of filming industries like places that hire actors don't they hire people also based on their body, so it often makes people feel bad if they're like in a position.
Yeah, and one thing I like really notice in the filming industry is like like the character who's like basically like I guess you can't really say that, but like quote unquote the fat character for like comedic relief. Like I noticed that in a lot of like shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a problem that a lot of like movies and shows have because they think it's like funny, but it's not, and it's had in a lot of movies, and that's a problem.
And finally, we have Gracie to introduce us the music industry.
Our final subtopic is the music industry. Body image has been a big part of the music industry, and many famous music artists have spoke out about body image. Some examples of this are Lizzo and Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish also made a short film about it. Many musicians have also shared their experiences with body image, Kelly Clarkson being one of them. She spoke about her experience where the internet shamed her after she did not immediately lose weight after she had a baby. Singers were also told that they would not make it in the music industry because of the way that they looked. Pink confessed to Splash News that she was told she wouldn't make it as a singer because of her looks. Kesha's mother also revealed that her manager was too focused on her weight. He always pressured her to become thinner for fame, and this caused her to become bulimic, which is an eating disorder.
I think that it's not appropriate if people are body shaming people who are like famous because I saw in the news once that Billie Eilish was criticized for wearing a tank top because a lot of people thought it didn't suit her body type.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture go around too. It's like a lot of times like I guess news sites, not really news sites, but mostly like those like kind of like I don't know, like magazines, I guess you can say. They take like just pictures with like no context and just put like any subtitle they want to like get attention.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a problem on social media where people just feel like they can say anything because they're like hiding behind their screens and they're saying like really mean stuff that really hurt people.
Yeah, I agree with Samantha. Like, we really need to like off the screen and like speak up with speak out. Yeah.
Also, I feel like people don't realize like celebrities still are like people because like I feel like a lot of people think they're celebrities, so they don't care really what a lot of people say. But I think I think the celebrities like still like feels hurt sometimes because they are also human beings.
Yeah, I feel like people often forget what they're saying like actually affects people even though they're really famous, but it still really does affect them.
And finally, we have Gracie to introduce us the music industry.
Our final subtopic is the music industry. Body image has been a big part of the music industry, and many famous music artists have spoke out about body image. Some examples of this are Lizzo and Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish also made a short film about it. Many musicians have also shared their experiences with body image, Kelly Clarkson being one of them. She spoke about her experience where the internet shamed her after she did not immediately lose weight after she had a baby. Singers were also told that they would not make it in the music industry because of the way that they looked. Pink confessed to Splash News that she was told she wouldn't make it as a singer because of her looks. Kesha's mother also revealed that her manager was too focused on her weight. He always pressured her to become thinner for fame, and this caused her to become bulimic, which is an eating disorder.
I think that it's not appropriate if people are body shaming people who are like famous because I saw in the news once that Billie Eilish was criticized for wearing a tank top because a lot of people thought it didn't suit her body type.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture go around too. It's like a lot of times like I guess news sites, not really news sites, but mostly like those like kind of like I don't know, like magazines, I guess you and say they take like just pictures with like no context and just put like any subtitle they want to like get attention.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a problem on social media where people just feel like they can say anything because they're like hiding behind their screens and they're saying like really mean stuff that really hurt people.
Yeah, I agree with Samantha. Like, we really need to like off the screen and like speak out. Yeah.
Also, I feel like people don't realize like celebrities still are like people. Because like I feel like a lot of people think they're celebrities, so they don't care really what a lot of people say. But I think I think the celebrities like still like feels hurt sometimes because they are also human beings.
Yeah, I feel like people often forget what they're saying like actually affects people even though they're really famous, but it still really does affect them.
So that's basically all our subtopics, but we do have one story submission. So this is coming from an anonymous person. So basically what she said or what her story was that in first grade she was bullied a lot for how she looks and her weight, which is basically like the issue we're talking today. And she says it really affects her self-esteem most of the time, and it's where most of her insecurities come from, which I think it's like a very common thing that happens. Like when something happens, it kind of sticks with you. I don't think a lot of people realize that.
I think a lot of people don't realize that most people's insecurities regarding things about their physical appearance come from when other people say something, even if it's just a joke. Some people usually don't take things that are said like hurtfully as a joke, even if they were meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people already have insecurities about themselves that they come up with, and then even if someone's just like mentions it or like jokes about it, it can really hurt them and really affect them in a negative way.
Yeah, like from the story, she says that she was bullied, and at first she didn't really notice it, but like once they brought it up, she kept thinking about it, even until like now. Which I feel like, yeah, like I said, it kind of really sticks with you. And sometimes the person might not even notice it unless like somebody else brings it up. And everybody else is like saying, oh, it was a joke. You shouldn't take it so seriously. But like both Melanie and Grace said that when you like get bullied or like something like that, you don't necessarily like kind of take it as a joke. Or like a lot of people often say it's like no offense or just saying.
People say it's a joke, it doesn't make it any better at all. It affects the person just the same.
Yeah, I agree with Samantha because she really covers my idea.
Okay, but just remember there's people who go through these things. You're not alone, and we love to hear these stories from you and share these experiences with others. So if you want to submit a story, you can go to the PALS Leadership website, and under podcast, there's a link. And you can even maybe be a guest star sometimes.
Overall, many things in society promote the quote perfect body. Some of these industries are fashion, filming, and music.
And please remember, if you are struggling with very serious body image issues, eating disorders, don't forget you can always reach out to other people or organizations for help.
This is just a quick add-in, but the organization we're supporting this podcast is the National Association for Self-Esteem. So the purpose of this organization is to fully integrate self-esteem into the fabric of American society so that every individual, no matter what their age or background, experiences personal worth and happiness. You should really go check them out. And once again, thanks for listening to the PALS podcast, Behind the Mask. Thank you.